Hi, I'm MrByZ, and you know what? I'm going to look back at 2022, and we're going to do the best of the Black Series for 2022. So we're going to go through actually the best and the worst, because there's definitely some worst in there. So join me as we take a look at the top 5 best Black Series figures and the worst 5 Black Series figures from 2022.
Number 5, worst.
Look, I know he made sense in the comic, and it is just a simple repaint even in the comic, but this was kind of a boring figure. I mean, it's an all-black Boba Fett. There's not even, like, different shades of black or anything, or, you know, I don't think I've even gotten to the comic where it's from, so I can't specifically say, but it's so boring. Yes, he comes with a new axe, which is kind of cool, but it's the same mold that we've had since, 2013 now? It's almost a 10-year-old mold. So that's kind of a little ridiculous. So this is my number 5 worst figure, the Boba Fett comic black figure, I don't know what to call it, from San Diego Comic-Con.
Number 5, best.
So I definitely think my top 5, number 5 figure's got to be Cobb Vanth here. I love him. Was he a little overpriced at the deluxe? We're never getting a full reason? Yes. But I mean, it's a good likeness there. Great looking armor, lots of good colors on it, even a removable helmet. I loved this figure. I was looking forward to him. It came out really well. I thought Hasbro did a great job on him. He even got paint there on the rifle. Such a nice figure. Cobb Vanth is my number 5 best Black Series figure for 2022.
Number 4, worst.
For my number 4 worst figure, I'm not totally sure if this really came out in 2022, but my stuff said it did. So I'm going to go with the Grief Karga here in the credit collection. I am tired of the credit collection. I thought it was a cool idea to begin with, but it's been overdone at this point. They're just repainted figures, and Grief Karga wasn't that exciting of a figure to begin with, and then you get a repaint with a little credit shit, and like, I mean, the artwork's nice, but I'm done with these figures. I'm tired. We've had 3 waves. I mean, I know this is the second wave. We already had a 3rd wave of these. I'm really hoping we don't see any more credit collection. I am done with these. So Grief Karga is number 4 worst Black Series figure of 2022.
Number 4, best.
For my number 4 best figure, it's actually kind of a re-release here, but The Force Awakens Han Solo, that new head, I mean, heck, you can compare it to the old figure. It just blows it away. We were supposed to get a redo of the gray hair. Far back as 2016, they talked about that. We never got it. But to get an all-new head, great sculpt, it looks like Harrison Ford. It looks so good, and I'm so happy we got this. And even though it is basically a repaint figure with a new head, I'm still putting this as my number 4 figure. It may be that, you know, I'm a little biased. I'm a big Harrison Ford fan. I'm a big Han Solo fan. Maybe a little bit of that, but I mean, that head changed that figure so well. It was so good. I had to put it in here. So, Force Awakens Han Solo, number 4 best Black Series figure of 2022.
Number 3, worst.
Sure, you're noticing a pattern here. On my worst seem to be re-releases or repaints anyway. And I'm putting the Shore Trooper, the Carbonized Shore Trooper, as number 3 of my worst Black Series figures of 2022. Carbonized is another thing I'm done with. I am not looking forward to those. What is it? The Royal Guard and TIE Fighter pilot we're getting later this year from Amazon. And the Shore Trooper one, I mean, there was... this one also just caused a problem with me because Target kept delaying, and then you'd see people posting about seeing 30, 40 of them in their store. And then they finally showed up in the store, and they were so plentiful. It was so... just so many. I'm going to put this Carbonized Shore Trooper as the number 3 worst Black Series of 2022.
Number 3, best.
For my number 3 best figure of 2022, I'm going to figure we've asked for 6 years. And that's Saw Gerrera. We finally got him. It took a little while to come out, but man, what a great figure. I love all the details on him, all the extra bits. He seemed worthy of being a deluxe figure. I just really liked this figure. I was happy to finally get it. It's a good likeness. So much all around to it, right down to his robotic foot and just everything. I just thought this was a great figure. I guess the best thing, it could have come with, outside of this, was some sort of bar gullet, but I'll excuse that. Number 3 best figure 2022, Saw Gerrera.
Number 2, worst.
Once again, for the worst, I go to repaints and re-releases. And number 2, Though it's not a bad one, this was such a crazy double dip, and that's Ahsoka here, and from the Amazon 3-pack. The Amazon 3-pack was ridiculous. Even calling it a 3-pack is ridiculous. But just to put out an Ahsoka with a cloak, that cloak could have easily been put on the same figure that already came out this year, and then we got a credit collection of. It's so too much double dipping. This could have been done so much better, and I know they did the same thing with TVC, but this is, just too many repaints, too many repacks, too much of that. Give us something new. If you're going to give us repaints, make them good repaints. Make them repaints that make sense. So number 2, worst figure of the year. Not because it's a terrible figure, but just, did we need another one with just a cloak? The Ahsoka from the Amazon 3-pack with her cloak.
Number 2, best.
My number 2 best figure of the year is the Dark Trooper. I do like this figure. I mean, I fell in love with it. Just seeing it on the screen. I've kind of always liked the Dark Trooper, even though I didn't play the games that had the early Dark Trooper stuff. I still thought it was pretty cool, even those early Power of the Force figures and all that. But to actually see these realized live action and then get action figures of it, it's surprising it took this long to get them, but I've loved the Dark Troopers. I loved all of them we got in this year. And this Black Series Dark Trooper, I think is pretty cool. Could there have been things that have been done a little bit better? Yeah, but I still think it's a really cool figure, and I'm glad we got it. So my number 2 best Black Series figure of 2022 is the Dark Trooper.
Number 1, worst.
I have a feeling he'll be on many people's list of the worst figure of 2022, but Black Chrysanthemum. Especially, I mean, yeah, it hurt that he was announced at the same time we'd just seen him in Book of Boba Fett. That did not help. But, if we hadn't seen him in Book of Boba Fett, this probably wouldn't have been so bad. But, I mean, the armor looks too big for him. I feel like he's wearing his dad's armor. And it's a good head. I mean, it's not bad there. But, I mean, even in the comics, he's a much bigger figure. He's a big, imposing guy. I really think that Black Chrysanthemum could have been better, even as a repaint, there's just different things they could have done. I mean, they even extended the legs on that Bausch Leia. I mean, they could have made his legs bigger. There's so much they could have done to this to make it a better figure. And I'm glad we're going to book a Boba Fett version. Hopefully it's far better, but Black Chrysanthemum, I'm sorry. You are the worst figure of 2022, even though I really did try to like you.
Number 1, best.
My number 1 best figure of the year is actually Nalin Cheel. It's not figuring down, but Nalin Cheel. The fact that we got all the extra band accessories, all that stuff that goes with it. I mean, even it's hard to see here with where I have it, but even the little seated guy there and everything. The fact that we could create the entire band with all their instruments, well, pretty much the entire band. I know Figrin Dan falls into this, and yes, it's basically a re-release with just extra accessories, which I just talked about was terrible with the Ahsoka, but this makes sense because you can put together the whole band. I thought Hasbro did a really good job of doing that and making it happen, and all the instruments look so good. So Nalin Cheel, not Figrin Dan, but Nalin Cheel is my number 1 figure of Black Series of 2022. So that's my look back at the best and worst of Black Series in 2022. Did you agree? Did you disagree? Did you think I made serious errors? Was there something that you thought I should have included in my best that I didn't? Is there something that you thought was far worse than what I put in my bottom 5? Let me know. Put it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And I'll be back again, and we'll talk about the best and the worst of TVC as well.